Hi guys, welcome to the stream where Mike trips and falls over cords. Welcome to the Project Spark Developer Live Stream. My name is Mike Lesko. I'm Community Manager for Team Dakota.
Hey, I'm Tom Gazage. I'm a producer on Team Dakota.
Hi, I'm Jedd Chevrier, Senior Concept Artist, Team Dakota.
And we're here excited to talk to you guys again on this very short week of Thanksgiving here. We will be in the office tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and then we'll be out Thursday. And Tom, is Friday off? Or
We are off Friday, yes.
see, we don't. Well, these producers get days off. Us community guys, we don't do that. And artists, they never get days off. They're always working. Time off. It's crazy.
I think for Mike, every day is a day off, really.
Well, that's true. I don't actually do any work. So yeah, we're giving you guys here today. We want to give you guys a little bit behind the scenes. We released the our intro movie that we showed up on YouTube, and we'll show that again here very shortly, so you guys can see that. And we want to show you guys a little bit behind the scenes and how we made it, what it was all about. And there's some really cool stuff there, and we used a lot of stuff from in-game, and Tom is kind of our expert in that, and Jedd just likes to come on streams and something, and I think take credit for...
I'm an attention hog.
Yeah.
That's actually what took us so long. I had to do my stage makeup before we...
Yeah, he had quite a big rider, too, trying to get Jedd on the stream. You know, that trailer, dude, that was not easy for me to get on such short notice. But I know the big question people have is beta.
Can you make a U-shaped hill? And the answer is yes, you can. We're here to break news today.
About U-shaped hill?
U-shaped hills can be made in the beta.
Can be made in the beta. Then we know that was the big thing you guys really wanted to know about. So I guess that's the only questions you have. So beta is we're still in certification. We've kind of been going hour by hour to see when it's going to come out. We're hopeful to hear anything. You know, waiting for an email at any time. What this really means is we're hopeful if we can get back good news today or tomorrow or something like that. We're really hoping that we're going to be able to start getting out some invites early next week and start getting some folks in. As we said all along, we're going to start off pretty small, but then hopefully we're going to be able to ramp up pretty quickly. So if you were canceling your Thanksgiving plans and voting your family for Project Spark, not for other reasons. If other reasons, that's fine. But for Project Spark, don't hold your breath before then. Check your email and stuff starting next week. Maybe Tuesday of next week would probably be the best case scenario where you'll start seeing stuff. And of course, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and we'll give you guys updates as we go.
This is our first time going through all the cert layers that we've gone through this time, so it's a learning experience for all of us. But and
it's Windows Store, right? So not a lot of people have really done this at all.
Well, we haven't, certainly. So
yeah. So anyway, so that's where we are. So Tom's going to start off with the best U-shaped hill intro ever, right?
Are you? I'm not even aware of what this is.
well, Mike likes to set up everyone with that kind of an intro so that they can't possibly...
Man, see, I usually get people that don't watch the stream, and now you know I can't get away with my usual tricks.
All right, so here we go.
Oops.
Project Spark. Henry has a new phrase that he says now. What does he say? It's a sandbox. It's an open world sandbox that lets you create anything that you can imagine. So I will start out...
I like digital canvas.
Well, all right. It's a digital canvas then.
Oh,
Just
the artist likes digital canvas.
For this stream, it's a digital canvas. So we can make the ever so famous U-shaped hill. We've got a full 3D voxel engine here, so we can actually build things in full 3D. We can make little mountains and tunnels.
Jedd, do you want to close that door just so nobody walks by?
I should have Jedd doing this. I'm sitting next to an artist sculpting.
You're doing great, Tom.
I'm gonna hand this over as soon as you get
No,
back
this
over
is
here.
he's concept man. He's all dreamy.
I've never played this game
There's
before.
no practical skills there.
So I'm now painting the area that I sculpted here, and one of the cool things that probably everyone in the stream knows is that our materials are smart materials, and so we actually get different materials on the sides than what we get on the top. So we actually get an area that looks really cool and varied, even though I'm using a single material to paint with.
The bottom as well. A good way to think of it is every direction has its own unique material that has contextual value.
And of course I can erode away the terrain as well, make us a little river here. And then of course you can share everything that you create with the community. Project Spark will be coming out on Windows 8, Xbox One, and Xbox 360, and you can share between all those platforms. Everything that I'm doing here you can do with a controller, you can also do it with a mouse and keyboard, or you can do it with a touchscreen. It's really cool to do sculpting on a touchscreen. I really like that experience.
Looks like veggie lasagna.
Now we're getting hungry. What are you doing?
I know we're skipping
Now we can
lunch
see
for
the
this.
we can see the little underside hanging under there, the roots and stuff. All right, did I hit on the main points? Oh, I didn't do the biome. I got to do the biome.
Yeah.
I'm out of practice. I haven't done this demo in a long time.
You didn't do propping.
I didn't do.
You didn't do.
I'm way behind.
Ugh.
Oh,
Who
my
shaved?
goodness.
Tom shaved. Tom, you shaved?
No,
Tom
I'm
shaved.
naturally like a baby.
Naturally, yeah.
This is Tom's full November.
Yeah, he's been going strong,
It's as
man.
manly as I get.
Yeah.
All right, so I threw some trees in there using the biome tool. Down here in the prop tool, I can throw a bridge in here. I can snap that to the ground. Give my guy a little bridge to get across the large lake-like river which I created. I'm gonna go over to the paint tool, grab my my path material, maybe scale my brush down a bit, make a little path.
Sorry, our green screen's off a little bit. I'm going to talk to our technician about that.
So realistic.
Get on his case about that.
Are you making fun of my art? Well, I just said that the artist should be doing the art.
Alright. Well, so are we just running through the whole demo here? Are we gonna throw down like a troll and make it?
I think we probably got
Yeah.
the bit. Yeah, throw a troll there.
I think we
Alright.
should see the Jedd demo.
The Jedd demo?
Absolutely.
I haven't done this since Gamescom.
I know, that's what I'm thinking. I haven't done this in like a couple months.
I haven't done it yet. They want me to do it. When beta releases, they want me to do the demo, so.
I want to use all the new stuff really bad.
Or are we giving away new stuff here?
I don't know.
Have we showed off the horned toad before?
Have we?
We have. You probably should pick the horned toad. I like that.
All right.
We showed him in the.
We don't own it yet.
Oh, we don't?
Let's not push it.
Alright.
Yeah.
Gonna break a bunch of stuff.
God knows what'll break.
Let's throw
It is warm in this
throw a
room.
crow in there. It is. Very
Isn't
hot
it?
in here.
Try wearing a jacket and a leather hat and tell me how warm it is.
Do you have the AC on?
Yeah. Let me call our the concierge and have him take care of that
No, there's
for
a
us.
thermostat right there.
Really? Well, go ahead, fix it. Fix it. I'm gonna sit back here anyways because they get nervous. They don't see me. They think I get fired.
Watch out, there's cords.
Well, here I'm still in your seat.
Jed, talk about what you're doing as you're doing it.
Can do. Alright, so essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to show some like the character and propping
it's already
system.
on. It's just not
What
working.
this is the prop gallery. And the prop gallery houses everything from characters to effects to sound effects to assemblies. And so what I'm going to do is come in here and grab a goblin. I'm going to put a goblin at the other end of the bridge. And we're going to play with his brain a bit. We're going to see how he reacts naturally. A lot of our props and characters come with pre-built brains that kind of have behaviors that kind of how we think they should act. For example, those crows just flew away when you interacted with them. And goblins are grumpy folk, so this guy is apparently going to attack you.
Kind of like producers.
Exactly.
Quiet you.
So basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here and we're gonna open up the brain of the goblin, and we're gonna just delete all this gobbledygook. Take that, designers. And we're going to kind of rewrite it and make him just do something else, I guess.
This is perfect. We had the producer do all the art, and now we're having artists write all the brains.
Perfect. I think you know what. You could not have scripted this better.
So let's say when the goblin sees the player, what should we have him do, guys?
There's a delay, so when you ask a question, you have to sit here for a while.
Well, Tom?
Oh, okay.
What should we have him do, Tom?
Well, there's a delay for me because I'm slow. Let's have him dance.
We can't fix that.
Dance. All right. I feel like that's. All right. Is emotes. So let's say when the goblin sees the player, emote, and the emote is to dance, and we want to get the full goblin dancing effect. So let's throw him down. Let's also throw a couple of them down. So he's a whole goblin boy band, a troop of them.
They're saying I have a halo, so.
This demo is so E3. I love it.
You should paint the brim of your hat yellow. That would be awesome.
We'll paint the rest of the hat green. And then it'll be
Oh,
fun.
I know, right?
So there they go.
Awesome.
I'm still waiting for a U-shaped tail. They're making fun of my U-shaped tail?
Oh.
Oh yeah, your U-shaped hill creator
Alright.
certification is up for review, I guess. See what Nye says about that. She's the one that certifies people.
Nye?
Nye. Nini. Nine. I used to call her Nine. It's N-E-I-N something.
So it's, how is it supposed to be pronounced?
Nine.
Nine, like
Nine!
the German word for no.
Well, that's what I,
5 out of 10 for effort.
See?
Oh no.
We'll make a mini U-shaped hill.
Nice.
All right. Well, I tell you what, guys. While other people were practicing their U-shaped hill skills, I was spending all the time making the video. So, what can you do?
Perfect.
Oh, look at that. He has to go and play the. Oh, look at all
That's
the
right.
hard work I did.
That's right. I
You
did
know.
it.
Hope you know.
So basically, what like another really fun thing about sculpting, like as an artist, sculpting in this game is by far my favorite thing to do. It's a lot of fun, but you can get a lot of really cool organic shapes very quickly, especially if you use a combination of the different kind of brushes. You can see the brush outline, the volumetric shapes, and you see how quickly you can kind of just throw down these big bold shapes with all sorts of different brushes that have different behaviors. It's a lot of fun, especially if you enjoy, like, I love landscape painting, so it's kind of like follows the exact same principles.
All right. Do you think we got the basics covered? We should go into the new stuff, Mike.
Sure. Yeah. What do we on a schedule? What do you get?
Well, I feel like the people, they want to see something more than just
Okay.
this. And I want to give the people what they want.
And you're
All
a
right.
people pleaser.
I can't argue with that. That was well played, sir.
You got to give the people what they want.
You gotta
Give the people what they want, and I think secretly, Jed, he was just upset because your U-shaped hill was going to be so much better than his. He wanted
It's
to
true.
nip that in the bud right quick. So
Well, I mean, if Jed's going to make some more pretty things, I'm cool with that too.
No, I'm just gonna zone out. I could do this all day.
I know it's like one of those things you just get kind of lost in it.
Yeah.
But okay, so
You
we're going to go off,
definitely
and Tom, you got to start us off by showing the video.
Let's
again.
show the video.
And we'll do it
Go ahead and drive.
MST3K style. So we'll. Jed, do you know what MST3K is? Is that before your time?
I have no idea.
Nice, you knew it.
What is it?
It's Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, yeah, I know
Means,
what that
means we
is.
heckle.
Yes. I actually just watched Hands of... they did such a good one. It's like Hands of Monareth or something. It's so good.
We can watch this on YouTube. Well, you can watch it here too.
Yeah, but you can't watch it on YouTube with us going,
Yeah.
woo!
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like,
And it's kind of like a roller coaster. Yeah.
watch out. Whoa.
Do they have sound
Do you guys have sound?
for this?
They
should.
They should. There's no sound?
Okay, I was thinking maybe.
You just sing the song.
Oh, now there's sound. Oh, yeah, can you hum it? Can you do the voiceover? Wait, Jed did the voice for this, right?
Oh, Spark. It's good to see you ready to travel the universe.
I can just imagine. I've seen this so many times I can hear
All
the
of
sound.
these
even though I can't
worlds
hear it.
made by others just like
Playing in
you.
your head.
It is.
So
You want us
much
to
to
restart it?
explore.
I think the
So
the
much to
background might
create.
get a little rowdy.
Wait, this is available on YouTube. You can
The
watch it as many times
universe
as you
is
want.
waiting
Yeah,
for
I'm
you
reliably
to bring it to
informed, so-
life. The stories yet to be told, the games to be made, civilizations
examples of
and
things that
societies to be formed. So, what kind of spark are you?
So as I
Player,
alluded to before, we
creator,
actually use
or
Project
both?
Spark itself to produce a lot
But
of
whatever
content
you
you've seen here.
choose, there's a universe of possibilities. Now, how do we begin?
Oh,
not now. Look at that. See?
my painting! My art! All right, so there it is. So let's talk a little bit about the process of making this video. And actually, maybe I'll just mute it and start again from the beginning while we talk about it. So the beginning of this video, talked about, we decided we wanted to have something to show when the game first starts up. So this is actually going to be the first thing that you see when you start the game, after you download the beta, whenever that becomes available.
Yes.
And so we started out by writing a script. I think Henry was the one who actually wrote the script. You guys see Henry in a lot of the streams. He put together the script, and then he handed off the script to our very talented concept artist, Jedd, who took that script and made it into a storyboard. So actually, I've got that storyboard. We can take a look at it now.
Yeah, the whole process for this was kind of organic. We knew we wanted a first-time user experience. We didn't quite know exactly what it was as far as the video was concerned. So we knew we wanted to really go through and show... well, there was a couple things we really wanted to show, indirectly, as well as lead you in without a very tutorial feeling video. We just kind of wanted to introduce you to the world. So we came up with this crazy idea to go into the Sparkiverse and the universe, and no one really said no to us.
It's usually how things get done in this team.
Yeah,
Nobody said no.
So we just came up with this idea, and then me and Henry kind of sat down and hashed this out. And then it was kind of to us, me and Tom, somehow to figure out how to actually build this thing.
That would be Henry Sturchy, creative director, who is on vacation. Just saying.
I hope you're having fun and watching, Henry.
He probably is.
But yeah, it was. I wish I would have known we would have had to figure out how to build this before.
It was an adventure. I would say it was a fun adventure, but it was a lot of work.
You can zoom in because I can't read that.
So yeah, I just want to give you an idea of what the overall storyboard looked like, and then I took that and broke it apart so that we could actually use each individual image. So there's a little bit bigger view, and we could just sort of run through the different pieces of the storyboard.
Yeah, so basically, if you guys aren't familiar with the process, storyboarding kind of goes through the beats of the film or the video, and you kind of just lay it out visually and kind of show the motion and the camera zooms and so on and so forth. And this was the first pre-visualization of what this video might be and how the cuts would go and the kind of dynamic shots and following Spark through, so on and so forth. They're very loose, they're very quick, they're just trying to get ideas out there, and yeah,
so that's it. So and if you were looking closely, you might notice that the shots don't necessarily match exactly the way it worked out in the end. We sort of, over time, we iterate on it, we change things, but they actually are pretty close to the overall structure of
yeah, I think so. I mean, if you come through here, like a lot of...
that stuff full screen?
It is full screen, they're just low
yeah,
res.
they're just pretty small.
I can try to zoom in.
If you come...
Here, let me open it in Windows Photo Viewer.
Okay.
Just a sec.
So yeah, they're like I said, they're really loose. The idea here was just to kind of establish overall composition, mood, and feeling for this. So we knew we wanted this kind of nebulaic Sparkiverse. So what I did was I came in here and I was kind of implying these different shapes, and we didn't really know what they were quite yet. But they ended up later being that kind of that sci-fi thing you guys saw that people have been talking about, and so on and so forth.
So I should touch on that. We've created a bunch of content that we're showing. Oh, how'd you do that? Look at that.
Not sure.
You're an expert.
She's an artist.
We should just have you run everything. So we created a bunch of content that sort of alludes to future content that we may be producing. We haven't announced any other new content packs that we're going to be producing, but there are some sort of hints at ideas that we have. We don't know for sure, so this isn't an announcement of any definite stuff that we're putting out, but
yeah,
we wanted to hint at some possible future types of content that might be coming throughout this video.
And then this is kind of what it looks like when we put it all together with like the script. And
hey, the community really wants to know. They weren't sure where in the video that you guys actually slipped in the U-shaped hill, because they know you guys wouldn't have forgotten that.
It's in the background. It's there. I'm sure it's there. We'll see it. You got a freeze frame. Go real slow.
Yeah. So the creation wall is actually 2 U-shaped hills put together.
Man, well played.
Yeah, so, yep, this is what our storyboarding process looked like. It was super loose, super quick, very organic. We went through and found a lot of holes in our script originally and holes in the storyboard, and then we kind of adapted and just very organically put this video together. After we did this, we got this whole thing down, the flow of the video and the cuts, so on and so forth. We put together a rough animatic.
which I
Yeah.
think you have, right?
Yeah, so actually one of the first things we did was we looked at some of the more complex shots and we tried to figure out how exactly we were going to pull them off.
Yeah.
And so we brought in an external video production house to help us out, and we sort of produced some of the assets in-game, and then we exported pieces of them and we added some stuff in post. Just to give it that unified look and to make sure that things like, for example, the element spark was produced in post. Now, we could have done that in engine, and we do have a spark effect in engine, but we wanted it to look consistent between the whole video and wherever else you see spark when it's not in engine, so we had it added in post.
In post means, for those of us who...
So after we produced it in engine, we basically effectively got the images out of the engine, we recorded it as a video, and then we added stuff to that video using things like Adobe After Effects.
Right.
So,
So you faked it. That's all I heard.
so we made it look cooler.
That's what art is, Mike.
Oh, okay.
So,
thought
as I
this was
just
all
mentioned,
real.
or actually as Jedd just mentioned, one of the first steps at that point, after we'd done this sort of a couple tests, was that we produced this animatic. So let's go through and watch the very first animatic that we put together. You'll notice that it actually doesn't follow exactly the structure of the final video itself either, because we iterated over time. Now this VO that you're hearing here is a placeholder VO that we put in.
Yep.
So that was a few of the examples that we put together to sort of test out our process, and then this is just sort of panning across the actual storyboards to show how it would get put together.
And this is what they would show in our build reviews, and we'd go, "Oh no, change that!" Oh, and it was great
Oh, no,
fun to
sounded
really heckle it.
Yeah, when we
Behold, the
when we
games to
initially,
be made.
initially
Wait,
showed
started,
it.
Civilizations
Yeah,
and
sorry,
societies to
Oh,
be
no, the
formed.
voice is horrible.
Because they can't see this on YouTube.
Yeah, so like
Ah,
a lot
Spark.
of this was
Good to
placeholder,
create you. I mean, meet
and we
you.
would show this in
There's
the
so
build
much to
review,
do.
and people
All
wouldn't
these
really understand
worlds
that it was
made
an
by
animatic,
others just like
which
you,
is essentially
and
an
so many
animated
more yet to
storyboard.
be made.
And
I wonder what they
but they
will
stubbed
be.
it into the
After
actual
all,
build,
that is
so people
entirely
would load
up
up
to
the
you.
game and be like, "Ah, what is this?"
Worlds
Oh my
ready
God,
to be
what have they
filled by
done?
your
And
creativity,
we were like,
waiting
trust
for
us,
you
it'll be
to
okay.
bring them to life. The stories yet to be told, the games
Part
to
of
be
the
made,
process.
Oh, they can't.
civilizations
I
and
don't know if it's too loud.
societies to be formed, all within your grasp.
All right, Goldilocks, let us know when
Filled
it's
with
perfect for you
adventures,
guys.
ready to be
Jeez,
explored.
high maintenance.
We can't hear it. We have no
So,
monitor. We need
what
like
kind of
headphones or something so we
spark
can
are
hear.
you?
There are headphones. You can put them on.
Creator.
Not hot enough in here
Smidgen
already.
approach.
Yeah, seriously.
But
They have a
whatever you
buzz,
choose,
too. I don't know.
There's a universe of
Oh, there we go.
possibilities.
Now I can hear. Can I hear us in these?
How do
I don't know.
we begin?
No, I don't think so.
I know.
Oh, really?
We can get
Dude,
started.
Tom is
by
such a
trapping
jerk. I
Doesn't
cannot
really help.
stand that guy.
I can still hear you.
God, how do you work with him, man?
I don't.
Oh, well. Hey, Tom, hey, glad to have you back.
All right, so that was the first animatic that we put together. So the idea of that was just to sort of show, hey, here's what this whole thing's going to look like when we put it together. And after we put that together, I think we had a much better sense of how it was going to flow and how we were going to, and how we were going to insert new pieces. And then from then on, whenever we developed a new piece, I sort of dropped it into that video, and we sort of iterated over time.
Yeah.
And slowly, each of the different components of that video became more and more final, and it became more and more looking like what it ended up looking like at the end.
Yep. So essentially, kind of like how we approached this whole thing was when we sat down, we had that kind of that rough animatic, and we had the storyboards and the script. And so we brought, like Tom was saying, kind of an external house in, and we sat down with them, and we're like, okay, like let's figure out how to do this. So what we did was we wanted it to be as true to Spark and like in game as possible, because Spark looks beautiful. So we wanted to show that in our video. We didn't want to have some like really fancy pants video that was not true to what the game was. So what we ended up doing was shooting a lot of footage in game and playing with kind of some green screen effects, just like we have here with the skies. And then
I did not invent green screen, guys, despite what I may have said on previous streams. So, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but eventually what we did was we kind of would green screen some footage, do a little post, and then composite a painting that me and another concept artist, Aaron, ended up putting together of this gigantic nebula.
So let's take a look at what some of that footage looked like.
Yep.
This is actually footage recorded from the game, and we actually just swapped out the background for a solid color so that we could key it out later. So this is actually footage that was then put together and used in the trailer. You'll recognize this from the trailer, but obviously the background is entirely red so that we could key it out and put in a different background behind it. So everything you're seeing here was generated from the game.
Yep.
Now, one thing that we actually did in order to help to separate the effects is that we did that on a separate pass. So you'll see this is what it looked like without the effects. Let me go back a second. this is what it looked like without the effects. And then we did a separate pass with the effects on it, and then we put them together to create all the assets that came from the game in a single shot, but without the background.
Mm-hmm.
So then we were able to key out the background and put in that beautiful matte painting that Jedd put together for us. Are there any questions we can answer? I'm not really following the chat.
Yeah, they want to know if we can sell posters.
Okay.
They're saying how awesome Jedd's work is, and how he should give Mike more stuff to show on the community. That's exactly what they were saying. Isn't that guy? Seriously, like we want to see more Jedd stuff every day on Facebook and Twitter.
Well, thank you guys. It's very flattering, Mike.
Yeah, so this all was taken directly from the game, and then we just added the different background because we didn't have a background that looked like that nebula that we wanted. Although, I think since seeing this video, we've talked about taking that painting and making it into a skybox. So it's possible that we'll take that and make it into a skybox maybe for DLC in the future.
Yeah, definitely. People have been responding really well to the kind of Sparkerverse feeling.
Yeah. So if we'd had that skybox, maybe we could have just done this entirely in the engine.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what do we want to show next? So I've showed an example of what that video looks like. Let me go out into the actual engine and show you some of these levels that we produced.
So yeah, while we were kind of working on the post and the big backdrop painting that is in most of the video, we had one of our other artists, Chris Mott, who's an environment artist. He was building these levels, and me and him would kind of sit down and look at the storyboards and kind of look at what we wanted the composition to do, what the scene was supposed to portray, right? And he would build these levels in game. It was really cool. He did a fantastic job. But yeah, essentially what we do is we go into nighttime sky, and we would build these levels, and then we would build paths through them. You can see the kind of the lines and the lights and everything.
So this is actually a level that was used to produce one of the shots in the video.
That's very cool. I've never seen this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back and run a test again. You can actually see everything you're seeing right now is straight from in-game. So you'll see it looks very similar to the final shot that we ended up with.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah. So it's the process is very similar to kind of really any filmmaking process. We essentially built a path that was a boom camera that we attached our camera to, and then we put another node in to where the camera would always follow that node. And so we could get really cool panning sweeping shots or just straight pan shots, and then we would build another path that Spark would follow. And
so you can see the paths here. This right here is the path that the camera actually followed.
Mm-hmm.
So if I move my little camera down here, I can sort of maneuver along this path.
Not very well, apparently.
And show you the shot that, ignoring the peanut gallery, we can show you the shot that we actually got right along this path here. And then the other path that you're seeing is the path that Spark was actually following. Now, I mentioned earlier we actually added Spark in post, like I said, just so we could make sure he looked consistent between all the shots in the game and the shots out of the game. But that didn't mean that we didn't have a Spark in the shot. As you saw when I went to test mode, we actually had a Spark here, both as a representation of where we were going to see Spark, and also because we wanted Spark actually casting light on the environment.
Right.
And so we had that light. When we actually did the final shot, we turned off the Spark visual effect, but we left the light there, so that way the light would be cast on the different objects in the world. So you can see in the final version, the Spark, even though it was added in post, it still casts light on all the real 3D objects.
Yep. We just added a light and made it invisible. And then our kind of final pass was going through figuring out where the creation well in the nebula was in the background. And I mean, that's essentially our main light source. So we had to go through and light all these levels like they were being lit from that. It is really hot.
It is so hot in here.
No, that's just pressure of a live stream, guys. Welcome to my world.
I don't know how you do it.
Someone asked if we could be the Spark as a character. Of course. You can program the Spark to do whatever you want. As we showed, you can make him do what we did here, or you can program him to be the character.
And it's funny, we haven't talked a lot about Spark and the creation well. We alluded to it a little bit.
Yeah, this video was sort of our first unveiling of some of the elements of the story behind
the universe.
In Project Spark.
Yeah, well, we've just been focused on kind of the creation aspect, and we haven't really told the whole bigger tale that will continue to be released as we have more stuff coming out.
Exactly.
So. Can you guys talk a little bit about the audio and the sound? I think that's kind of an interesting story. how we were about to get it done, and you guys are like, oh, let's go re-record the sound.
So
and,
yeah, there's a few different elements to the sound. Obviously, in the final video, we've got our soundtrack, our music. We've got our sound effects that were added by our audio team, and we've got the VO. Obviously, it was custom composed for us. That's some of our first ever custom Project Spark music that will be in the final game.
Yep.
So that was really cool to hear that for the first time.
We had a couple tracks. We had a wonderful composer from California, I believe, working on a couple tracks for the game. The menu music, our kind of Spark anthem. Yeah, it was a really cool experience. Being able to like sit down and think about what our game is and what our game could be, and it can be anything. And then how do you find a genre of music that is appropriate for that?
Right.
Yeah.
Or an ensemble of instruments.
So they iterated on a few different versions of that music, and we ended up getting the final version in really only a couple weeks after they started iterating on the video music. So it was really pretty fast turnaround. The sound effects, like I mentioned, our audio team just sort of took the video and added all the effects to it because we didn't add those all in game. We just had them all added in post because it was easier to do it that way.
That's what they do.
We could have, of course, just added all the things in game, but it probably would have taken us longer to do it all in game. Doing it in post allowed us more flexibility as well. And then the voiceover, we had the placeholder voiceover in there for a while, and that's what you'll hear in a number of different...
That was a guy from Studios.
Yeah, he's actually one of our the sound folks that works over in our central media group. So he's not even a professional voice actor, but I think he did a great job giving us an amazing amount of temporary voice work that we're going to be using in our beta, and that also that was used in the initial versions of the video.
Yep.
And then just recently we got the final voice acting for the trailer release. I'm not sure if that's going to be the final voice that we use in the game or not, but we hired a professional voice actor to do the final voice.
Yeah, we felt that in the video it was kind of the first big hurrah, the first thing you see when you load up the game. So we really wanted the voice to be something that felt like it belonged in the universe.
And as a lot of people recognize in the community, it's Jim Cummings. He's somebody that really well-known voice actor. He's been in
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh, Earthworm Jim. He's in GTA.
Shredder in Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, he's been around, so it was really cool to get somebody that's, just got so much, voice acting chops here.
Yeah.
In
I think you could really tell the quality.
I really wanted Pauly Shore, but
that would have been awesome.
We couldn't get Christopher Walken, so
somebody mentioned it, like, why don't you get the guy that did the God voice in Futurama? And I was like, damn, that would have been so awesome.
We should have, what we should have done? We should have just had Henry doing his Forrest Gump impression.
Oh yeah, right.
Spark Futurama tie-in. I would be on board.
All right, so I've got another level loaded up here, and this is actually another level that was in the video. Let me show you this in test mode so I can show you. We actually generated all these props.
Oh, thanks to Brad Reed, by the way, for helping out.
Yeah, he helped out create these brains
shot.
that did this.
He helped build these amazing brains that would build these kind of like in our Crossroads gameplay. That's very white.
I was going to try to fix this, but something has gone wrong. Let's hope test mode fixes it. No.
Whoa!
I don't know what's happening.
That's funny.
Oh, I think we're missing assets in this.
In a not kind of haha way. But if you notice in this level, we really wanted to add. There's a scene in the.
I'm gonna exit out and hopefully I can fix this.
There's a scene in the cinematic where we do a wipe shot with the creation wall. So there's a big creation energy tendril that kind of surges into the foreground and then it cuts the camera. And we really wanted that cut in this particular shot. So we didn't really have a way of building that because we knew we wanted to do it in post. So what we did was we built it with logs here. And we built the whole... we built exactly where we wanted it to be with logs, or the path that we wanted it to follow. So when we went through to add it in post, we just essentially traced that line.
Yeah, so once again, we added the lights in here so that you can see the light of that creation ribbon reflecting on everything. So that way it would look like it made sense in the final shot. Now, a lot of these props, you'll notice that as we run through in test mode, I'm not going to do it again because it's going to mess up my materials again, it actually makes all these props pop in. So that was actually done all in engine using a brain. Let me see if I can find the brain that actually did it. We can take a look at actually how that was accomplished. It's been a while since I looked at this. Yeah, so this is the brain that we pushed onto all of the objects. So you'll see at the first line here, it says when a page entered, so when this page first starts to run, we set visible equal to false. So this brain gets pushed onto all the objects in the world, and then it instantly makes them all invisible so that you can't see any of them. This is what allowed our environment artist, Chris, to go through and build the entire world so that he could see the whole thing, but then have everything instantly become invisible when the level started running. And then moving down here, you'll see that when we started to become closer to a given light bulb than a particular radius. So we set a radius on this light bulb, and whenever the object that has this brain is close enough to that light bulb, it's going to run this code but down here. And this code says to make the visible equals true, so it makes it become visible. It makes it play a specific creation effect, and then it plays a different creation effect. So it plays a couple of different effects on it, and it becomes visible. And then down here, we're also doing some other things. So after we become close to that, we set up a timer to make it actually hologram for 0.2 seconds. And after that 0.2 seconds is over, it gets rid of this brain. So it no longer has this brain that makes it appear. So that is how we made all these objects appear as this spark light bulb got near them. So then down over here, you'll see, just like in the other shot, we have our camera object here. That follows this path right up here.
Again, that's kind of the camera boom thing we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. And then down over here, you can see the more squiggly path that our spark light bulb is following. Same thing, we have the spark effect that we turn off when we actually do the final shot, and then we just have the light bulb that casts light on everything. So as it follows this path, it casts the light on the 3D objects, so that way when we add the final version of Spark in post, you can see the light actually reflecting on all the objects.
Did you slow down the video in post, or that's what they're asking? Because they seemed like they thought it looked fast here on the level.
No, I don't think so. Let me see.
I think this was pretty close to final.
No, I think this is about the speed that it was running in the final video.
One of the things that we found when we were making this was that when we put Spark in, we just did a basic path for it, and Spark's speed was very consistent. So when we took Spark out and put post Spark in, he was a lot more sporadic. His movements were more natural, and he would speed up and slow down in certain areas, which made the whole shot seem a lot more natural. But it also played with your perception of how fast the shot actually was.
Mike, can you turn off the screen for a second?
Oh, you gotta do something horrible.
Yeah, I gotta do some secret
Can
stuff.
the porn wait till after? I mean, I thought we talked about this. All right, hold on.
All right, am I hidden now?
It's just too hot in here. We're gonna start getting inappropriate.
Oh my
I
goodness.
know. Jed, will you put your shirt back? Oh my God! I told him no. This is not that kind of stream. So hey, what's new with everybody? How's things going? Yeah. Oh wait, you were on camera. They didn't. Oh man, I totally blew that way. I forgot that they could still see you. Damn. All right. Well, so much for that. So yeah, Tom is. I don't. God knows what Tom's doing.
Sorry, just gotta fix some things.
He's fixing some things. So.
I was telling these guys earlier, the emoticons in Twitch are incredibly creepy. Especially that little crying one.
I know, it's really weird.
All right, you can turn the screen back on.
All right. It's not going to get me fired, whatever's on the screen, is there? Oh, all right, good. Scene 0.01.
So this is a level you might recognize from the beginning of the video. I get the right camera angle in here.
Ew, that's just like a black and white picture.
So this is probably the most complex level that was built.
Oh man.
Not in terms of brains, but at least in terms of the environment that was created.
The brains are pretty complicated too.
That's true, yeah. So in this level, look at all the stuff we got.
Ari's acorns.
So this was all really built. In fact, even the background from this we used straight from Engine. So this is the shot that was probably altered the least out of all the shots that we saw in the video. So let me just actually run it through test mode. You can see, literally, we're going to watch the beginning of the video, basically. Oh, and we have
Spark.
We have a placeholder circle in there showing where Spark is.
He was really feeling like a hollow shell of himself that day. Hey, look, I don't write the material. I just read what they give me. So.
Yeah. So this is in game. Like again, we were talking about earlier when.
Who created this, by the way?
Chris.
This is Chris Mott.
This is Chris built this. Yeah,
That's amazing.
It's beautiful.
So here's where the logo reveal was. That was added in post.
Yep. Like when we were tasked to figure out kind of how to build this video, it was a really huge testament, at least for me, to like see the power of Spark in our game. That we're like literally making a movie in this game now. It's, you know, it's not just for building games or mechanics or models or assemblies, or like we're actually like putting cameras on booms and making cuts, and it was really cool. The experience was awesome.
So Tom just promised before the stream, and this is really, I was really great.
Whatever he's about to say, I didn't say this.
Really happy to hear that he promised to make sure these were uploaded so that you guys could check these out yourself.
Oh no.
On beta.
I really hope we can actually get these uploaded. There may be a few things.
These levels look hilarious from any angle.
Oh,
But what you're meant to see them from.
Should we go look at like what's happening? There's actually a ridiculous amount of stuff happening in the background that you never ever see.
You have to watch it. I don't know. Some of these guys watch this thing over and over. They might.
No, but like you literally can't even see it. Like it's back here. There's like people walking around and
Go
stuff.
down to if you go down here, there's a shirtless guy waving.
Oh no, that's over. That's right.
It really is.
It's down. Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
Oh, did they clothe him?
Oh
no, he's right
there.
there.
Why? Because why not?
You can actually see him in the video.
Yeah.
Really? He makes a cameo?
Yeah, because the camera. This is the camera path right here. So the camera like flies right along here, and if you'll notice, you can see him right there. So watch for him in the shot. You can see the shirtless guy waving.
Yeah.
This is awesome. But it's funny, yeah. You only see it from this angle. It's
There's
just
like
like they did the moon landing. Like
there's a ridiculous amount of stuff happening, but then if you get too far back, you can actually see the back of the world. Doesn't look quite as pretty as the front
backstage
of the world.
is not exactly.
That's exactly what it is. It's a stage, and we built it like that.
That is really awesome, though. I mean, that's cool.
So someone's asking, can you define the colors of the lines? And yes, that's exactly what we did so that we could keep track of them, because for a while we had all these lines the same color, and it was very hard to tell which line was which.
Yeah.
So we colored them so we could tell the difference.
That's also why you see a lot of like acorns and apples floating around here. That's kind of our go-to when we, like, instead of using a logic cube or something, so we can tell the different, differentiate them.
So it's
we'll
interesting. That's a
prop.
technique that we use. You can effectively think of all these acorns and things just as logic cubes. They've all been set to be invisible at runtime and to have static physics so that they don't fall. So they basically act just like logic cubes, but we've, like Jed said, we've made them into a few different objects so that we can tell the difference. Like, okay, all the acorns do this, all the pumpkins do this, so we have sort of a little bit of a code about what does what. So this red line here is the line that the camera actually follows. The yellow line, I believe, is the line that indicates where the camera should be looking at, and then I guess it's a white line here, is the line that the spark object actually follows. And once again, we had an object that was just a light bulb, and we could attach like that debug sphere you saw, or we could attach the spark effect to see what it was going to look like. But the light bulb was the most important part because that was actually casting the light on the world as it ran through the world.
Yep. And then another really cool thing about this level was like we really got to push big world or large world or giant, whatever we call it now, to its limits. Infinite worlds. Like if you look out into the distance, those islands out there, like in our sky domes, we have islands like in the background, like it painted into the sky domes. But for this, we really wanted to see what we could do, see if we could do something bigger. So what we ended up doing was flipping off that particular layer of the sky dome and actually sculpting in our own backdrop. So like you can go all the way like really far back in this level, or really like far up.
Yeah, way
right?
up there.
And we sculpted our own kind of like atmospheric backdrop.
All right, so they're all asking for the U-shaped hill. There's got to be a U-shaped hill somewhere in there.
Yeah, you guys better find one quick. I'm just saying.
I mean, how many U-shaped hills can you count?
It's vertical. It's more of an N-shaped hill. Oh, look right there. Ooh.
Oh yeah, there we go. Upside down U-shaped hill, maybe. So talking about what all these little objects are here, the acorns are actually what we use to control the speed of the camera. So as the camera passes through an acorn, its speed changes. So that's how we've actually controlled how fast the camera is moving along this path. Mm-hmm. Moving forward, we had other objects that were controlling. The apples are controlling how fast Spark is moving. So whenever Spark hits an apple, he speeds up or slows down. You can see the path that you recognize from the video. And the pumpkins, those control the pitch of the camera. Or actually, I think there may only be one pumpkin. So when the camera hits this pumpkin here, it actually tilts sideways because we wanted to have a sort of a sideways pitch to it as it was moving up. so that it could match the next shot that we did when we moved into the space shot.
So, the basic thinking behind that is like the object has a like a detection field, right? And when whatever object, which in this case was our camera, passes through that, that's when that brain would take over or push a new brain or something. This shot's actually really funny. When we first started this, if you looked at the storyboards when we originally showed them, this shot was not there. It was at a different part of the scene where you kind of were already in space and then you came down and flew through this castle and then kind of went out. But we really ended up deciding that we wanted to show like Spark how we would normally show it in all its glory, kind of during the day and very cheery. We didn't want to be super dark with the whole thing, so we kind of had a meeting, and what came out of that meeting was that we were going to fly from a tree in the middle of the day all the way up into space to the center of the universe in one continuous shot. And me and Tom left the meeting and we're just like, oh no! And yeah, so we just made the level gigantic and built this really elaborate pan camera and fancy cuts. And
so I'm gonna try to go off script a little bit and see if I can actually I just dropped a character into the world, and if I can find the camera, I'm gonna get rid of the camera, the original camera, and see if we can just fly around the world.
Oh, that'd be kind of neat.
And just
you
check
just
out
play
what
with
this
the
world
character,
looks like.
run around the castle with the character.
Well, I want to make sure that this camera, I don't know where the camera object is. Is this the camera? No. I don't know where the camera is. Hopefully that camera doesn't take over. Let's see. No. I gotta find the camera so I can turn it off.
It should be right at the source, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I didn't set this level up, so I'm not sure where it is. Is it over here?
Is it the tiny acorn?
No, it's not. It's in the tiny acorn. So I did talk about some of the other work that your team does, because you haven't been on a stream before.
I haven't been on the stream.
So what is it that a concept artist does?
So a concept artist is the person who kind of comes up with the original design, the style of what Spark looks like. Or we work really close with, I think, has Brad been on? Brad's our art director.
Oh, Brad Schubert?
Yeah.
He never takes my calls, you know? Yeah, no, Brad's been on.
No, he's our art director, and we kind of work very closely with him to make sure that everything that goes into our game is stylistically, up to par and a really cool design.
So all these amazing looks of everything that you guys see here, it starts out with the concept team.
Yep. So everything here was initially concepted. What's really unique about Spark, as opposed to every other IP, is that every single thing in here is very deliberately crafted, down to the blades of grass. The blades of grass have little curls in them. There's leaves that flow through the air, and a lot of games, they'll have generators for things like that. But we literally, I remember one of my first days on the project, I was concepting a leaf. I was like, oh, are you kidding me? This is not glorious. But I realized that that's what's so beautiful about our world, and that's where we get so much richness from, is that every little thing in here, from the smokestacks to the effects to the leaves blowing in the wind to the grass to the characters to the giant monsters, are all super deliberately handcrafted, and it's a really magical thing to be a part of. But our kind of day-to-day is we come in and we'll get a brief or something kind of from the design team. They're like, this is kind of what we're thinking when we're they're designing a character or something. This character in particular I designed was our Woodlands fighter, and when I originally did him, we wanted to put together a base adventuring group, essentially. So we needed a fighter, and we knew we wanted him to come from the Woodlands. And in our lore, the Woodlands folk are very handcrafted. They use a lot of woods and leathers and so on and so forth. So I just kind of started designing and sketching and iterating and doing silhouettes and finding materials and stuff to design this particular character. And then once we do that, we pass it along to our character artists, and they build it.
So here you can see some of the stuff I was talking about. All these guys are running around here. You never even see this in the video, but they're all hanging out. Apparently there's a switch here. I don't know if it does anything.
Who knows?
There was a squirrel running along the path back here. Apparently he's radioactive or something.
Yeah,
He's
there's something
glowing.
going on there.
It's a candy squirrel.
Apparently there's a random
Newcomb High School
smoke
or
coming from
something.
nowhere right there.
Yeah. So someone asked how we made the castle. The castle is from our castle set.
Yeah, we have a castle DLC that will be available in the beta, I believe.
Yeah.
So you should be able to get all these pieces yourself and build a castle that looks a lot like this.
Or
Yeah.
better.
Or better. Let's
Or
see
better. They're always going to
Yeah, they want you to look down on the castle from up above.
All right.
Is the request. So Jed, can you we've shown some pretty awesome stuff on Facebook and Twitter. Which of that stuff is? It seems like anytime I get everything, it's finally Brad's like, Jed will help you out, and Jed suddenly makes something awesome, and I'm like, guys, I had to wait so long, and I look at it and I'm like, oh, thanks, this is awesome. And I just stop complaining. But
I have to say they want us to look down from above, but it's sort of again it reveals behind the curtain. I mean,
it's good, hey.
this hasn't really been arted up to be looked at from this direction because it was entirely built to be looked at from the camera angle of the shot. So when you look down in the castle, it doesn't necessarily look as awesome as we would like it to look if we were building it to be viewed from this angle.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool to see the behind the scenes shot too, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we cheated this as much as we could to save time, but
So what were some of the concept pieces that you did personally that we showed?
I did one of the first ones you guys revealed was the Woodlands concept piece, and it was kind of like the Woodlands houses, and there's a waterfall. I painted that. I painted most of the creatures. There's a lot of fish. All of those swords.
Oh yeah.
I painted all those.
Now you did that one. We did a special one when we hit 25,000 Facebook fans.
The goblin.
The goblin.
Yeah,
with
I came into work and sat down and to an email thread from Mike, and I was like, "Hey, we're gonna go and..." Did you just pick that up?
This
Awesome.
thing apparently had a brain on it that let me pick it up.
And they were like, "We're gonna get 25,000 Facebook fans. We need to do something special." And so Brad was like,
Exactly.
we don't have time. So I was like, all right. So I kind of skipped my lunch break and painted up a goblin as fast as I possibly could, because Mike was like, "We're gonna get 25,000." So yeah, I did that one too. But it's kind of cool. We've got an awesome concept team here. Super privileged to be a part of it, and it's kind of difficult to tell who does what, which means we're doing our job right. And we're all working in unison, which is cool.
Actually, I do it all.
Mike does it all.
I should get credit for everything.
All right, so I think
place
that
to send concept art for approval for putting it in the game.
right here.
Yeah, generally me or Brad will approve concept art to be put in the game.
That's not a call for submissions, by the way.
Jed's email address is.
But I mean, seriously, if you guys have any fan art that you want, we're always happy to share that on Twitter and Facebook. We think that stuff's awesome.
Oh, we love it.
Sax, he's the director, executive producer, he's the studio head. He loves that stuff. He goes nuts whenever he sees that. He really loves it.
I think
He
we all
tweets
do.
about it.
I mean, the reason we're all doing this is because we think it's so awesome to enable the community to build awesome things.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we see our community building awesome things before we've even given them the tools, I mean, that's amazing. We love it.
Yeah, the person that created Project Spork is she was in the stream earlier. I don't know if she's still here.
Was she?
Art Zealot. Yeah, still. No, there she is. Yep, Spork.
Excellent job. We were so happy when you.
That was I think that may have been the first piece of fan art.
I think it was the first piece of fan art.
Yeah, that was just so awesome. It was just like, whoa.
Yeah, I love the sculpt of the tree. The guy that sculpted the tree.
Oh yeah, that was crazy with that modeling clay.
It's
or
like
whatever.
Sculpey or something. I'm not quite sure what it was.
All right, so I think that's probably about it for showing behind the scenes of our video.
Yeah. Does anyone have any more questions about the video or concept art or producing?
Where Tom's beard might have gone. We're open to any questions.
Oh man,
really.
it's like heaven. I think I've walked into heaven up here.
Oh wow! Look, and there's a door. Who knew? Now we know. It's like,
oh no!
they say you see a white light and it opens. That's awesome.
I love it.
That's funny.
Oh, now you're stuck.
That's a good place to end it right there, I think.
That's on a high note.
On a high note.
And then we went to heaven.
All right, guys. So yeah, we'll be have a good Thanksgiving. Spend some time with your family. I don't know, work a lot, save up money, and get ready. We'll announce as soon as we hear more. We're hoping for next week to get some of you guys in, and then I think really quickly over the next few days and weeks after that, we're going to be getting a lot of folks in. And yeah, we just can't wait to have you guys get in there and start doing it. And God knows what kind of adventures we're going to have in beta. So this is kind of the end of an era here. once we go to beta, it's suddenly going to be a whole new pile of excitement and craziness. So, absolutely. So yeah, we'll be giving you guys updates. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. You can check us out on the Project Spark org forums and Reddit, of course. And no stream Thursday. I was going to come in, but everybody else said something about holidays and family and stuff. I don't know. Crazy talk. Days off. So our next stream will be next Tuesday at noon. So basically a week from today. So thanks, guys, and we'll be seeing you hopefully very soon.
Thanks, guys.
Can you just mute the mic because we gotta let it run?